What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have to talk about the loads of new pictures from Scream 5. They dropped today, thanks to Entertainment Weekly. I don't love seeing some of these, and we'll talk about them as we go through, but I'm going to look at every single one of these pictures, and we'll talk about whatever there is to talk about each of them. So the first one is obviously our two original ladies, Nev and Courtney, obviously Sydney and Gail, and we see them, and this is, I guess we get to see a little bit more of them than we saw in the first picture with them and Kevin Williamson. They look great, right? And the one thing I will say about this from like a personal opinion standpoint, I don't love seeing, so I guess we already technically saw Nev, Sydney in it, but I don't love seeing the first still of her from a picture. Well, let me correct myself. Months ago, I did say I would have been fine seeing a picture of her. However, where we are today, a day before the trailer coming out, I think we could have just waited to see her, kind of in action for the first time in the trailer versus a picture. So I am slightly disappointed, but I mean, the point of this Entertainment Weekly thing was to show every single one of them for the most part. So, they're not going to skip her, obviously, but I would have liked to kind of waited on this. Now, I feel like they're looking at Stu's house. They could be looking at anything, but I feel like they're looking at Stu's house. They have the exact same clothes on that they were wearing in front of Stu's house in that picture with Kevin Williamson. Now, does that mean that could they have been? Could they change clothes? Could they have the same clothes on for different scenes throughout the film? Of course they could. In fact, just coming back from Scream 1, right? I mean, you can have the same clothes in different scenes. So it's possible they're looking at something else, but I feel like it could be Stu's house. Now we see Ghostface, and look, I'm not an expert at placing things. It's either a school or a hospital. It kind of looks like a hospital to me because there's no lockers of any kind. At the same time, it could be a school. I don't want to get too far into my own thoughts because I know I'm just going to make myself seem very, very stupid to you guys. I think the bigger thing here is it's just Ghostface. Look at how amazing he or she looks. You can't tell, I would say, by the body there, but man, looking really, really good. We see Dewey again. Now we've seen David Arquette technically do promotional stuff, so we've already seen a little glimpse. He basically is Dewey just at all times, so we kind of already seen this, but he looks great. Not too much you can kind of read into this. The one thing I will say, and I'm going to try to not do too many talk about the leaks or the spoilers that could have potentially come out. One thing I do find interesting is that they've really split up. It seems like Dewey from Gail and Sydney for what seems to be the entire movie. I mean, look, we don't know if Stu's house is going to be the ending, although it very much seems like it should be, right? And, you have Nev and Courtney in those pictures, and Dewey's not there. Then you have Dewey in all these other pictures, and he very much, again, always kind of seems separated from them. Now, I think that's fine. That's kind of like a him kind of not even mentoring, but watching over this new cast, especially, now we know I believe the rumor is he's retired, but he'll probably come back into his role. So he'll watch over them, and that could be a reason why you would split him up. But I'm getting pretty worried that you kill this guy off. Now we've talked about it before, but I'm just getting pretty worried because I don't know. I maybe there's a reason why you don't show him with the other two at Stu's house and all of the other shots, and maybe that's just kind of a red herring, but we'll have to see. Then we get probably, in my opinion, the most interesting picture of this entire, well, maybe the second most interesting. Jenna Ortega, obviously, as Tara Carpenter in Scream, and we see her with a knife and with a phone, exactly like Drew Barrymore. Now, again, to not go into the Scream stuff, I guess, too far, I will say this, though. The rumor has been she's the opening attack, and I'm going to stop there. I won't say anything else that we've kind of heard about her, whether she lives or dies. The one, I guess, additional thing I will say, as I've said about 1 trillion times in these videos, I do not want Scream 1 again. Now, I feel like they can fall into this trap. I do have worries about this. I'm not going to lie and say oh yeah, there's no problem here. I mean, you have Stu's house, which will be the ending, seemingly, which is the ending of 1. And then you have Jenna Ortega basically portraying, in a way, Drew Barrymore. Now, again, is this knife shot just a cute promotional thing? Being hey, look, we reference something. It's one shot of the entire scene. She does nothing else that Drew Barrymore does. Maybe. But I will say, let's not get into the mistake, I would say, of copying 1. you're not, I would say, a good movie if you literally just do one again, okay? You'd be falling really into the Force Awakens category of Star Wars, which I thought, I guess, was a solid movie, but it was also way too safe. It did just episode 4, again, maybe better, maybe for modern audiences, but it didn't, like, push anything. And then when 8 and 9 did, obviously, I think that ruined Star Wars, but whatever. The point is, I think I don't want them to play it too safe, and I've said that countless times. And again, I get it. It's just one picture. She's holding a knife. She does exactly what Drew Barrymore did. And maybe that's, that's coincidental. Again, maybe that's like a cute thing where it's like, look, wink, wink, like, who's this supposed to be? That's fine. But if this movie is too close to one, I am going to have issues. I mean, I'm just going to flat out say it to you guys. Next up, I would say tied with the most interesting picture is Melissa Barrera, obviously as Sam Carpenter, right? And what's interesting about her, obviously she's got the phone, she's looking out through the doorway. Now this seems to be Stu's house, to me. You also have the red, like silo, like drinking cups on both of the windows, so it seems like another house party, just like I just said, so I'll stop there. It is cool, like it's cool to see her in it. Obviously we got to get Sydney in there, but again, like if Sydney and Gail kind of show up almost as backup, and then she's I guess the final girl in this way in that house, they're throwing a party like that, it could be really cool, and I think it will hopefully be really cool. Next up, we have, obviously, Sheriff Judy Hicks, which I think is maybe the first time we've seen that formally, which I guess does confirm that rumor, right, that she's now the sheriff and that Dewey has retired. But we see her, looks to be her home, right? I mean, I don't really understand or would think any other place that she would be. And she's got a little, almost like pocket knife, so she seems pretty worried about it. So again, Ghostface maybe pays her and Wes, maybe if he's there, right, a visit. So that's not too much you can talk about with that. She looks good. She looks different a little bit, and moving right on. Then we have Jack Quaid and Melissa Barrera again as Richie and Sam Carpenter. So I don't know, like they kind of seem like they're in a relationship. Here's the deal. We don't know much about like any of these characters. We only have like the plot synopsis, which is like, right, Sam leaves for a long time and then she comes back. That's boiled down all that we really have. So we don't know if she left a romantic interest, or if maybe she didn't, right, and she's coming back and she falls in love with this guy or whatever, or again, like, could he be a red herring, all this stuff. So we don't really know. But, I mean, they seem like that's a window. I think they're in a house, but also maybe not. Like, it could also maybe be the hospital. So maybe they're in the hospital. I don't know. That's kind of what I would take from that one. And then the rest of these we can just start kind of rifling through. We have Mindy. Looks like she's coming through almost a door/window there. Not too much. Like, again, zero known about this character. Very hard to read kind of into anything. We have Dylan Minnette, obviously, as Wes. Awesome. He kind of looks like he's in his own room, probably, right? Staring at something. Maybe a little ominously, but we don't really know. His hair, okay, fine. Then we have Amber. Now, Amber, I believe, is the rumored girlfriend of Jenna Ortega's character, Tara. So I guess that puts a name, a location, a face, all that stuff. It kind of connects it. Mason Gooding as Chad. Again, nothing really known about these characters. But then right next to him, we have Sonia Amar, and maybe I'm saying that right, maybe I'm saying that wrong. Now, she doesn't even have, including in Entertainment Weekly, like in their thing, she doesn't have a name. Like, it's every one of these is blank person as blank. So like Mason Gooding as Chad, Nev Campbell as Sydney. For her, it just says Sonia Amar. So I have a feeling one of two things: either she's like definitely somebody important that for some reason they just don't want to give like a lot of information to, or she's so unimportant. Like this is one of the opening, like after the opening attack. This is one of the opening scenes, and she dies like very shortly after. She's just somebody to kill off, right? I feel like it's got to be one of the two. And then we have, obviously, Vince. Now, Vince is an interesting one because a lot of people have connected him maybe towards Billy. He's got a Billy vibe to him, and we do not know his last name. A lot of these characters, I believe, we do know their last name, including even like Wes, right? Like we've linked him, Wes Hicks. So, he's one that we do not know his last. And now, again, I didn't even know about this Sonia Amar. Like, we don't even know her character name at all. But this Vince, we got nothing. So, again, maybe that's something important. Maybe we're not supposed to know his last name because that's like a huge thing. Or maybe, again, like he's so on. Now, I don't actually, for him, I think the opposite. For him, I think we don't know his last name because he is important. Whereas, like Sonia, I feel like we don't know her name because she's going to be killed off rather quick. Again, just just kind of my opinion. So I'm pretty sure that's every single one of the pictures. Phenomenal. Like, overall, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to see all these people, in pictures. They all look fantastic. It all looks, honestly, fantastic. Again, I do have worries. I do not want this to be a copycat of Scream 1. We've seen that before. I just watched it. I don't want to watch it again with just like a slightly new lens. I want it to be respectful of the old, but I don't want it to be the old. I want it to be something new. So that's something we'll talk about definitely more, in the next several months. And then if the movie does fall into that trap, obviously, I'll be talking about it then as well. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. All my other social media is in the description below. Tomorrow, obviously the trailer, I'll be covering it daily, starting tomorrow, probably for 2, 3, 4 days. We'll have videos on the trailer and go from there. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.